me over the years, and on so many other student athletes here at Anderson. I like to refer to Coach Brandon as Mr. Anderson College Athletics all the time, the efforts that he's put in on behalf of this university. I'd like to begin by thanking the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for bringing us together for all of our noteworthy accomplishments. What an honor to share the stage with such truly gifted and dedicated athletes. Now I'd like to share with you an almost fairy tale story of what I believe to be the best team that Anderson College and now University has ever produced. Many of us arrived on campus in the late 1960s to a football program that was in shambles. Not only not winning, but losing badly. A core group of us decided to change things, and miraculously, we went from perennial losers to a conference championship in 1968. We got better in 1969 and won the second conference championship. Pieces started to fall into place. However, that year we graduated. Little All-American players like Dan Gear, Ted Williams, and Terry Borowski, who, by the way, went to camp with the Miami Dolphins the next year. We were concerned that we couldn't fill all those empty positions. That's when, as a few teammates and I have discussed over the past 50 years, divine intervention took place. We truly believe the Lord said, let's fill all those empty spots with players that Division I coaches thought were a step too slow or didn't measure up in size to their preconceived standards. But what their metrics couldn't measure was the brotherhood, the heart, and the desire to win that our team embodied. Our team momentum was building. The student body felt it too. I'm sure the linen service that provided clean sheets to the students noticed lots of missing sheets because they were all hanging from dorm windows with captions such as, "We're number one," and "Go Ravens." There were even guys that dyed coveralls orange, put on hard hats, grabbed megaphones, and led cheers for the now packed stadium crowds. It was truly something to behold. The 1970 season started with a scrimmage game against Butler University. They arrived and parked their bus almost disrespectfully on our field. The bus was a luxury coach bus that had in big letters across the side, Butler University football. My teammates and I looked at each other and said, "We don't have one of those." Then their full scholarship players started to get off the bus. And we said, "We don't have those either." What was apparent was their arrogance and their "let's get this over with" attitude so that we can get back to the big city. On the first play from scrimmage, their offensive tackle jumped off sides. Now back then, when a lineman jumped off sides, the defensive lineman, oftentimes taught by Coach Brandon, we're taught to hit him to get the attention of the referee. We had a defensive tackle by the name of Bill Beard. Bill Beard was 6'3", weighed probably 240, all muscle, no fat. Off the field, he was a happy-go-lucky guy and had an almost childlike personality. Who did I love that guy? He was from Texas and did the worst John Wayne imitation you've ever heard. But we all knew better than to tell him that. He also thought he was part Native American, so that when he would hit someone on the field, he would let out a war whoop. Woo! He would go. Bill was an animal on the field, and when the unlucky Butler offensive tackle jumped off sides, Bill let out a war whoop. Hit him, and the guy did 2 backward somersaults and landed on his back. Bill wasn't done. Another war whoop. And he moved to the guard. Same results. Bill was then heading for the center when I grabbed him and settled him down. That set the stage for one of the worst butt kickings ever to occur on our field. We ran all over them, and they couldn't even get a first down. It was at that point we knew we were something special. I remember a group of us saying, bring on Ball State, bring on any big school, we'll line up against anyone. It was with that confidence that we started the season, knocking off each opponent. We went to Defiance, Ohio, and beat a very good football team that hadn't lost a home game in 3 or 4 years. At the end of the season, the NAIA chose 4 teams out of 100 plus schools, I don't know how many, to compete in their national championship tournament. Minot State from North Dakota from the west, Anderson from the Midwest, and 2 schools from the east, Westminster and Edinburgh, both Pennsylvania schools. We first played the highly acclaimed Minot State team. We won 38-12, no contest. We then went on to play Westminster, who had beaten Edinburgh for the national championship. It was a cold, rainy day, as Coach Brandon described in December. Not conducive to our excellent passing game, but we still battled injuries, field conditions to go on a drive that culminated in the red zone. Down 21-16, they intercepted a pass and ended the game with that score. What a heartbreak for us, but also what an accomplishment. To my knowledge, we were the only Anderson College team to play for the national championship. Perhaps more importantly, in my opinion, it developed in us all the confidence, the discipline, the sense of camaraderie necessary to succeed in our chosen fields. Many of us went on to have careers as doctors, dentists, lawyers, judges, business owners, state legislators, administrators, teachers, and coaches. Thank you, Anderson, for providing the stimulus and environment for those great memories and successes. This time, I want to go over the coaching staff real quick. Again, head coach Dick Young, what a master of the passing game. Coach Jim Wackles, one of the finest gentlemen I've ever met. Assistant coach and former teammate Dave Garrett, Coach Don Brandon, the best coach I've ever had. Coach Bobby Edwards, who was our scouting coordinator. I'd also like to recognize one of the best trainers small college football has ever produced, Steve Doc Rising. Last but not least, I'm sure my teammates all remember Coach Galen. Now I'm honored to recognize my teammates, the members of the 1970 Raven football team. Would you all please come to the stage at this time, and cheerleaders as well. As I